With the fabric that I use, I'm making these abstract films, but hoping to sort of call attention to the relationship between fine art and sort of everyday decorative kitsch. Hi, I'm Jodie Mack. I'm an experimental animator, time choreographer, artist type. My aesthetic project with sort of defining the relationship between fine art and everyday life concerning abstraction, involves a lot of these really bright fabrics. And oftentimes I'm considering these works sort of eulogies for these materials, It's sort of the end of their life. It's their last hurrah. So I make my movies on a 16mm Bolex camera. I work in the zone of stop-motion animation, so I take 24 photographs essentially for 1 second of on-screen time. This is sort of an older method of making animations. A lot of things are done on computers these days, but I choose to work in film because the material renders color and texture in a way that resonates with a lot of my work, because I'm working a lot with very colorful, textured objects up close. It costs money to shoot film, so it allows me to stay focused and work alone. Many computer animations are made by thousands of people, but I can just make everything myself. Now, experimental animation isn't what you might normally associate with animation. You might want to think of it as more similar to plastic arts like painting or sculpture than things like narrative filmmaking. Things like Symphony Diagonale by Viking Egeling, or work by Hans Richter, Lottie Reiniger, Oscar Fischinger, Len Lai, Harry Smith. Some of those are the formative experimental animation pioneers. Before I started out as a filmmaker, I started out in theater. So early on I had this sort of upbringing surrounding performing and building things, building sets, making costumes, putting on a show. And then right at the end of college, I just caught the bug and actually starting out working in cameraless filmmaking, where everything's very small and you're using physical objects to place on the film strip frame by frame. That immediately sort of acquainted me with using recycled materials and things that I could find in multiple. Photo negatives and magazine cutouts and fabrics and posters and gift bags and envelopes and junk mail and things like that, and scraps of scraps. It just sort of grew from there, and so now each material sort of governs the theme of each piece, and then sometimes, what's discovered through studying them in motion becomes a surprise too. I went down to Mexico and realized that I was obsessed with the textiles down there. and that it would just make perfect sense for me to start animating with them since I've animated with a ton of other textiles. I met a great friend who came from a rug weaving town and shot animations with him, both of the rugs and of a little bit of the production involved with making the rugs. And then I gathered a bunch of other textiles and just started working with shooting them in landscapes and in different elements of 3D space that could sort of maybe be anywhere. I intend to keep shooting them around, so I'm shooting them in San Francisco right now. I hope to shoot them in Los Angeles and Arizona and New Mexico and Texas. And in some ways, I don't even really know what will happen to the project. So it's just, I really want to keep growing and keep adding skills or tool sets to my animation practice. For me, this is just a way, again, to experiment. I'm just having fun with it.
I want my film back and forth, 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 I want my film back and forth. Cinema's the medium that moves me, magic perception games, I'm about to make a movie. I gotta move it right along, cause I wanna start cutting, so I'm gonna sing the song and get the shutter shutting, so what's up? Yeah! I know exactly what to do, I check the light and focus up and just burn frames off.